All right, I will call the roll. Let some more people in here. Albany.
Here.
Barnett. Bloomfield.
Here.
Brighton.
Here.
Brownington. Brunswick.
Here.
Cabot. Charleston. Concord. Corinth.
Here.
Danville.
Here.
Derby.
Here.
Here.
East Haven.
Here.
Glover.
Here.
Granby. Greensboro. I think Ken is where he was. Yep, Ken is here.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, gotcha. Groton. Guildhall. Holland. Daryl is here.
He was in the group chat. He did say here.
Yep. Irisburg.
Here.
Jay.
Here.
Kirby. Lunenburg. Linden.
Here.
Maidstone.
Here.
Marshfield. Morgan. Newark.
Newark. Here.
Newbury.
Here.
Newport Town.
Here.
Norton. Peacham.
Here. Oh, here.
Yep. Reigate. Sheffield.
Yeah.
Stannard. Sutton.
Here.
Topsham. Troy.
Here.
UTG.
Here.
Victory. Waterford. Westfield.
Here.
Westmore. And Wheelock.
Here.
All right. Nick, I will hand it over to you.
Perfect. Good evening, everybody. We will call the Tuesday, January 13th, 2026 Northeast Kingdom Waste Management District Board of Supervisors meeting to order.
I can't.
We'll get into article number 2, which is any updates to the agenda. We do have one. We can do that at the end. Just an update on the Casella and the Waste District surcharge. But yeah, we'll get into that later. Are there any other updates to the agenda? Hearing none, we'll move on to Article 3, which is the approval of the minutes of the December 9th meeting. Everybody, Steve?
I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes of December 9th, 2025 as printed.
I'll second it. This is Barb.
Thank you. Thank you, Barb. Any discussion? Errors, corrections? Hearing none, all those in favor of the approval of the minutes of the December 9th, 2025 meeting signify by saying aye.
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 If there's any opposed, nay. Ayes have it. Thank you.
Nick, could I interrupt you for a minute? A couple
Yes.
people came in. I just wanted to
Yep, I did see, yep.
by themselves. If, phone number 802-487-5720.
I believe that's Miriam, I bet.
Correct, that's Westmore. Miriam here, thank you.
All right, thank you. And the other one was 802-279-1524.
Betty from Cabot.
All right, Betty, thank you. All
So
right,
we've already approved the minutes of the last month's meeting, and we're on to Article 4 now, which is the tire price discussion. We did have we talked about it last month, and it should have been in your packet of the updated pricing. Is there any discussion on?
So I could give a little background here.
Sure.
So I had put together just a short synopsis of where we're at right now. Walt had brought up this issue, I think at the last couple meetings about, how inexpensive it was to get rid of tires at our facility, compared to, a commercial tire shop and some other towns and districts around. So I had compiled a list of current pricing for some other districts and municipalities. In our 2025 budget, we had budgeted $15,000 of income from tires and an expense for the district of $15,000 to dispose of those tires. And at the end of the year, here's the actual costs. The income was about $12,500 approximately. Expenses were about $5,700 more than that. So we were operating at a loss. And Walt had asked kind of that we just start the discussion. Is it worth raising our tire prices maybe to at least break even, and to recognize that we've fallen behind over the years on our price, and other districts are a little bit higher, most likely covering their costs, which we're currently not doing. So if you look at the list, can people see that on their screen?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, good. So here's some of the other waste districts around the state. We're currently at $3 for a tire up to 18 inches. See right here, I've got us at the bottom of the list. So Chittenden is at $4, Addison's at $4, Northwest is at $7, Lamoille $6 for up to 18, and then they jump to $10 for 19 and 20. Rutland up to an 18-inch tire is $4. Then they go to $6 over that. Wyndham up to 22-inch tire is $5, and then they really jump to $30 a tire going over 22 inches. Bennington up to 16 inches is $7 a tire. And then they double their price over 16-inch, 16 to 18. Just up the road in Burke, up to a 16-inch tire is $8 each. And then they go to 10 for 17 to 20. Over in Littleton, up to 22-inch tire is $5, and then they jump up to $28 a tire. I did finally get a hold of the St. Johnsbury transfer station after I'd already typed this up and sent out. They're at $8 a tire. And I believe that's up to 20-inch is $8. So we charge people by the tire when they come in to dispose of them. Most people are bringing in sets of 4 when they're getting new tires and they're swapping out their old ones. We do receive tires in bulk from some towns. So towns will accumulate a quantity of those, and then they bring them in their town dump truck and put them into our tire pit. So bulk quantities, whether we receive them from a municipality or from a business, very few businesses that we receive from. It's mostly other towns. So we require them to go to the scales in Lindenville, and we charge them $180 a ton for quantities, large quantities of tires. And that's the exact same price that we are currently charged by the company that takes our tires away, which is BDS Tire from Fairfield, Maine. They service just about every waste district in Vermont. They cover most of New Hampshire as well. They're kind of the biggest player in the game. And they take the tires back to their facility in Maine, and they are chipped. Oftentimes they are used for fuel. They're used for athletic fields, and a couple other uses. And they are the company that the district has been dealing with for quite a few years. So on a recent conference call with the other district managers, they had been receiving letters recently from BDS with price increases. And I believe one of the districts, I think it was Rutland or Bennington County, which would likely be the furthest drive from Maine, they were they were going to be charged $310 a ton. And that's a significant increase so that they're going to have to absorb. And I assume that they will have to increase their tire price to cover that increased cost.
Did we get a letter, Chris, about an increase on that?
We have not received one yet. Not exactly sure where Fairfield, Maine is, but we are probably one of the closest locations in Vermont that they pick up, with us being so close to the New Hampshire border.
Do we know on the majority, do we keep track of the size tires that we get, like in the spreadsheet? So can we know, like, a majority of our tires are less than X amount, or?
The vast majority are under 20 inches. We don't get many of the larger tires.
And then do we know what the cost?
But I would say probably 95% of our tires are not on a rim.
And did you figure out the cost between our net loss and the difference in what we need for revenue? Is it $1.50 a tire? Is it $1 a tire?
Yeah, I asked Michelle, and we have never tracked the exact tire count. That's possible when we're dealing with customers bringing in 4 at a time, but a lot of our volume is coming in on dump trucks from other towns, and those really can't be counted up. So I think we should at least be, $4 or $5. We can, an adjustment I think is needed. We are currently at $3, which is below everyone else and not covering our costs. I think Ken's got a question.
Yeah, do we have from the guys who pick up our stuff, how many 18-inch tires there are in 1 ton? So we could take the tonnage price divided by that number of tires and say, okay, it's costing so much a tire. And of course, the same question would be about other size tires also.
Yeah, we do not have a breakdown of the number of tires of each specific size. That's not something that we have.
And it changes this time of year because that's why Ken has so many, because they're full of snow, ice, and water. So
Yeah,
they weigh twice the amount.
Yeah. Yeah.
If I can say something, I think we need to increase to $5 because we're losing money right now.
So
yeah, I have no doubt that that's probably a good start.
I also have some, yes. Walt has. You have a comment, Walt?
Yes, my comment is that, yes, of course, I brought this all up, so yes, I think we should increase the cost of tires. One of the factors that is hidden and that we don't see is it takes time for the staff to do a lot of this work. So there's also a cost of staff time. So $5 is not unreasonable because we have to figure that in. And I'd also like to see the bulk quantities increased from $180 to at least $200 a ton at the moment, and have it go up if the contract that we have with BDS tire recycling goes up. It should at least cover the cost of that.
Is there any other questions or concerns?
I wanted to add that as far as people coming in to the facility here and disposing of tires, almost to a person, when they ask, what do I owe you? And I say, $12 for a full set of 4 tires, they're shocked that it's that cheap. Oftentimes they're coming to us because they've been told by their garage that swap their tires that it's like 10 to 15 if they wanted to leave them there. And so it's we're not trying to bilk people out of money. That's not our intention here. We want to just at least break even for the service we're providing, and at $3 we are we're really behind the 8 ball there, and other towns have obviously recognized that you can't do business at $3 a tire. And even looking at the prices of the closest locations to us, just south of us in St. Johnsbury, they're at $8. Just north of us in Burke, they're at $8. And I know there was some concern. Someone had mentioned, are we going to see tires disposed of all along the road now if we increase? And I have not found any evidence that these other towns are any more littered with roadside tires than we are because of their price structure.
No, and I mean, I would say too, I mean, yeah, if we went from $3 to $10, then okay, maybe there might be some merit to that, but covering our costs is the only concern that I would have, and I would assume everybody else's issue would be too, is to cover our costs. So I think $200 a ton is reasonable. I don't know. I'd like to do some more digging to see if that's actually enough to, I mean, we're talking about almost $6,000. So when you're only getting a dollar or two more a tire, is it going to be enough to cover that?
Yeah, and it's something that we could bump it up for a 1-year trial, and then next January we talk about this again. I think Michelle put in the packet the flyer that has our prices on it, and the last time the tire price was adjusted was I think it became effective January 1st of 2022. So we're 4 years at the $3 price, just for frame of reference. So it's we know what costs have done everywhere in the past 4 years.
Right.
This is Jake from Westfield, Jake Kuchar from Westfield. I agree with everything that's been said here, and I think that I don't know, I don't want to rush the conversation, but I'd be ready to make a motion that we raise our price to $5 and $200 a ton, depending on what we may end up getting for a price increase from the other end, and then we need to revisit this.
So the way this was warned was just for discussion tonight.
Okay.
I can if we have a consensus of some sort, I can put together a proposal we can vote on at the February meeting.
I think
Okay.
that'd be great.
Sounds good.
Steve?
If we raise the price to $5, should we also increase the size to maybe 20 inches? Because most people don't have over 20.
So here, this is Jake again. When we talk about rim size, there's so much variation. I mean, my car has got 19-inch wheels on it, and the tires don't weigh very much. I work the recycling at least 1 weekend a month. We'll get truck tires that'll come in, like a 1-ton truck with a 16, 17-inch rim, and that tire weighs 3 times as much as that car tire that was bigger rim. So, just using a rim size, it's kind of I know we have to do that to a certain extent, but boy, if you get up to 20-inch tires, they could be really heavy if it comes off a truck.
I would think that maybe, I agree with what he's saying, because a lot of car tires now are up to 20 inches, and they have very small sidewalls, whereas
Low
truck
pro.
tires are much thicker. So maybe we could delineate between passenger car tires and truck tires for size also.
We don't want to make it too
that would
complicated with.
Well, I was going to say that would only mean more labor at our end, making sure somebody's out there babysitting every load, every tire, and making sure, what everybody has.
Yeah, but we don't now, so we wouldn't have to in the future. We just have to take people's word for it when they come into the office and we ask them. We haven't had anybody out there. We don't need anybody out there.
We can try it. I mean, if we put something on for February, and I know Ken's got his hand up, but if we put something on for February, we can have more discussion and go more in depth on the structure. Ken, did you have something?
Yeah, I'm thinking about our price per ton and the possibility that we'll have to be paying more in the future. Should we word that in our motion as something about whatever price we pay plus $20 or plus $50 or something like that? Don't base it just on a dollar figure, but on a price differential from what we're paying. So that way we wouldn't have to be changing things every time we get a price change.
Technically, we could do it, we write tire size, quantity, and I try to write if it's truck tire, car tire, there is a weight difference between.
Definitely, it makes sense to me. Especially, I don't think we have a lot of them. We don't get a lot of tractor tires or skidder tires or anything else, but it might be worth trying to. Maybe we can get some general weights on passenger tires from X to Y on sizes up to 20-inch, and then we can look at some other options too, Chris. And then for February, maybe we can have a better idea of what we need to get for pricing. I mean, we obviously know that the majority of the tires we get are 20-inch or lower, and they're probably mostly passenger tires.
Yep. We do get some larger truck tires, but they typically will come in, like if a town garage is changing out tires on a dump truck, they're going to bring those in a dump truck, and they'll be in that bulk quantity that gets dumped at our facility. But we typically don't get many people bringing in tires bigger than 20 inches.
And even
four at a time.
Even when the towns do it, though, we got to keep in. I mean, those are 120 pounds a piece. So 24.5 is 120 pounds. Some of them are a little bit heavier, but that might be something to consider too, because that some of this might be where our money's going, right? So $6,000 is a pretty big hole if you factor in a few dollars a tire here and there, or $100 a ton here and there. So I guess we just maybe need to try to figure out where most of that would be coming from. Is there any more discussion on the tires, or can we can push this till February and people can chew on it a little bit? All right.
Sounds good.
Thank you all. We'll go to Article 5, which is the minutes clerk discussion.
All right, so
Shannon's going to do it for life.
yeah, she doesn't want to quit now. Shannon is in her last meeting. She's here with us. I want to say thank you. Her minutes are very easy to look over. They're pretty darn accurate. And she makes getting them from her and then looking them over and getting them as quick as we can onto our website pretty seamless. But this is her last meeting. And so we are looking for a new minutes clerk for the March meeting or February meeting if possible. Shannon, I'll give you an opportunity to sell the job. So
Oh yeah, I think I mentioned last month it is relatively easy for anyone who would participate in this meeting. Nor normally, I mean, obviously, as you're all aware, it's not necessarily every month. The board does take a few months off, a year. And it's just sort of a matter of being able to type quickly. But yeah, really not difficult to do. And so I would definitely say if anyone wants to take it on, it's not a big time commitment, obviously, and it's perfect for someone who is already attending the meeting.
All right, so if anyone has an interest in this, it does pay $50 per meeting. Just get a hold of me and hopefully we can have a new clerk ready to go in February.
Thank you, Shannon, for your service.
Yes, thank you very much, Shannon.
Thank you.
It's been a pleasure. It definitely has been a pleasure.
I do have an idea. I'll talk to you tomorrow too, Chris. I got an idea for, actually, we talked about her already once, possibly coming back. So,
okay.
She did it before. If nobody else is interested.
Okay.
Don't jump at it all at once, folks. It's like getting nominated a dog catcher when you're at the town meeting in March. You're like, oh, thanks.
Yeah.
All right. Well, again, Shannon, thank you very much. We will move on to Article 6, which is financial and operations update.
All right. Can everyone see that?
Yes.
Okay. So we ended the fiscal year FY25 for the district. Expenses exceeded revenues by $19,000, which on a budget that's just over $1 million, it's about 1.7% or so. Revenues were higher than were budgeted for, but expenses were a little bit higher as well, creating that deficit for the year. Oh, I'm sorry, the 19,000 was for the month of December, 17,000 overall. So for the last month, the significant expenditures were we pay an annual subscription to Front Porch Forum. I believe it's around $2,500, which allows us to get out all of our outreach messaging. So that was paid. We did pay some equipment repair bills that were significant in December for the baler, forklift, and the truck that we own, which is a Mack. That's a 2021, which I will mention a little bit later, I think, also. As far as foam collection, so as you know, we've started taking foam again. We're all caught up. Towns have been sending it in regularly now. We're seeing a lot of contamination in the foam. And so I would just like folks to I mean, some of you are attendants as well as supervisors, and some of you are in contact with attendants. But if you could please pass along the message that there's a lot of foam that we're receiving that is dirty, that is wet, covered in tape. We're getting non-foam items, that's soft, flexible, spongy foam. A lot of that. It looks like styrofoam, and if you're not familiar, I could see why people would mistake it. We're seeing insulation board. And a day after, when we finish running a few hours of foam, we can fill probably half a dumpster with trash that we're picking out. And it not only is costing us money to throw away other people's trash and filling up our dumpster, it's also slowing down the foam processing time, because we have to go piece by piece, ensuring that we're not going to put anything into the machine that's going to either get caught, is going to break something in the machine. Wet foam in the machine will make it start to ooze out, and also steam comes out the top, and it's just not good for a piece of machinery. So please continue to stress that clean foam is the only thing that should be sent to the district. But I want to thank folks for restarting collection. I know a lot of our customers here are happy that we're taking it again, especially around the Christmas season. We did get quite a boost for a couple weekends.
Ken here, I have some comments on that foam.
Yeah, go ahead, Ken.
The original plan was that whenever we accepted it, it had to be handed to a person working there who would go over, remove any tape or anything else before it went in the bag, and customers do not have access to that bag. That's the process we still follow. So it kind of gets me that that process is not being followed. So maybe we need to put something out to all sites to return to the process it was supposed to be we had originally set up, which was customers hand all foam to one of the attendants who carefully goes over it before it gets into any bag. My suggestion.
Well, and we did talk about having the updated pamphlet, paper, whatever that we were going to give to the sites as well for the styrofoam. I don't know if that's still happening.
Michelle did send that out with it's a flyer that folks can print out and put right near the foam bag, and which would remind not only the customers but also the attendants what the requirements are and what can go in the bag and what can't. And she did send that out quite a few weeks ago. I think it was just before we started accepting foam from the towns again.
Chris, is there any particular?
May I say, though, that signs don't help too much. I put a sign right on top of our paper thing saying no cardboard. I'll come back 5 minutes later, and right underneath that sign, there's cardboard. Somebody has to be standing there and actually saying something to them. Just a printed sign doesn't always work.
I agree.
Shannon, did you have something? I see you pop on for a minute.
Oh no, I was just going to make a comment, but then I realized, I haven't been there for so long that it might have changed. When I originally went around and we started the foam collection, I certainly never emphasized that attendance had to be like accepting every piece of foam. And so I certainly appreciate, if towns took that extra step, but I don't recall ever like saying that to anyone. But then I didn't say anything because I don't know like anything of what's been said about the foam program since I left. And so I was going to keep my mouth shut, but I mentioned it.
Thank you. I do know, like say Albany, they want to do the collection too, Chris. There's other towns that are interested, and I know Albany has a select board meeting on Tuesday, and they wanted me to find out so they can figure out if they can take that.
Yeah, we have room for capacity to process some more. And I think at the last meeting, I asked folks to reach out to me if their town was interested in starting. We did have one, I believe, that started since the last meeting.
I
And
know Tanya
Albany,
said that they
I don't
are.
imagine Albany's volume would be that high, so we could certainly add them. If someone wanted to reach out to me, whoever puts the list in for Albany can make a note.
It probably
that they
won't
would
be
like
from,
a
it
phone
probably,
bag.
yeah, it might be from Tanya at the town clerk. She'll probably send that out
Okay.
instead of Kevin, but
Yeah. I think Walt had a comment.
Yeah, Chris, I was just gonna ask, is there any particular towns that are not adhering to the rules of, our home? Or is,
We have to tag the bags and leave it on there.
No,
how about walk-ins to Lincolnville? Is there a problem there?
I think, yeah, I think every bag to some degree has some contamination, but I don't think it's certain towns. I think it's certain individuals that happen to show up with a lot of bad material and stuff it in, because it often tends to be clumped in one part of the bag. Like it's one person who just, they're trying to do their best.
Right.
They don't know the rules and they throw a lot in. And Ken might have a unique situation where, you know, it can be monitored extremely closely. I know a lot of facilities are busy enough where the attendant is trying to watch everything at once, or help someone with batteries, or take waste oil, or help someone get something out of their vehicle. And sometimes people, you know, not every item coming in through the doors can be monitored as well as at other facilities.
Yeah.
So,
Chris.
no, I would say it's not necessarily that,
Yeah.
oh, Danville's horrible. It's just bad bags once in a while that.
Right, and you know, I see what you're just saying, because we have one attendant in Danville, and he cannot do everything on his own. He has to, like you said, run here, run there. It's impossible. You put up signs and people look right through them. They don't even see what the sign says, so.
I think that's common.
Yeah, it's gonna be an ongoing problem.
Yeah. And Mike is here. He runs our baler. He's a primary baler operator, and he sees contamination in every material from every town to some extent, you know? So it's just, I think it's more, not necessarily, you can't blame a town. I think it's more just an individual who's not being careful and will throw a piece of angle iron into the tin bin, you know, it just.
Or into the styrofoam.
Yeah, or into the styrofoam, yeah. We've found some interesting items that are not even close to being styrofoam.
Live ammunition inside of the paper boxes.
Yeah.
Live ammo. Live ammo.
That's good. Put that through the.
So I just wanted to bring that up because,
Propane tanks.
you know, the bags we're providing are those, you know, cloth type woven bags. And maybe before the bag is sealed up, you could just take a quick look through it, and you might spot some things that are visible, and you know, at least in the top half of the bag, that can be removed right at your facility, and that would help us out a lot. Let's see. So I've been told that in the past there's been a pretty significant uptick in the volume of materials coming through the facility during the Christmas season and just after New Year's, when people are getting rid of boxes and other stuff from the holidays. Most of the drivers said that there was a slight uptick, but not as much as they've seen in the past. I'm not really sure what that means, but you know, we did see foam go up a little bit, cardboard up a little bit, right, Mike?
Yeah.
But not drastic.
Not super drastic. It's
Yeah.
already starting to drop off.
Yeah. And I think Shannon had mentioned this at a prior meeting that in general, packaging has been downsized. And that could be a part of it as well. That there's just packaging just isn't as bulky as it used to be. Is that?
Yes, absolutely, that's true. And also, I get take part in this like market analysis like group, and one thing that they noted was cardboard box sales was down quite a bit in the second and third quarter of 2025, and that signaled that the economy wasn't really doing so well and people weren't really like buying things for the holidays. And so it doesn't surprise me to hear that. I think maybe people downsized their celebrations this year a little bit because of the economy.
And we've noticed, well, if you just think of the size of televisions, the size of the box you used to get a TV in, and now it's flat. I think especially for electronics, there's a lot less packaging. And a lot of the cardboard volume is those larger boxes. So I had mentioned the last month or two that there was a Connecticut River Watershed Association. There was a representative that wanted to start baling ag film at our facility. Mm-hmm. He seems to have backed off, and we haven't really had any contact or updates in a few weeks. So that has not started yet, but if there is a change, I will let folks know.
Okay.
So there was a development where for the compost, Black Dirt Farm and Standard gave quite a few of their customers in the St. Johnsbury and Lindenville area about 2 or 3 weeks notice that they were going to stop picking up. And so we started getting some calls from especially the larger customers like White's Market, has 3 supermarkets in St. J and Lindenville, Linden Institute, quite a few large businesses that were relying on the services of Black Dirt Farm to collect their compost. A lot of that, not a lot, but some of that compost went to to Eric Paris here in Lindenville. He's got a compost operation. It's called Tamerlane Farm, and he relied on heavily on Black Dirt for material to run his composting business. So it left a void where people had about 2 or 3 weeks to figure out, how am I going to get rid of all this compost? They didn't want to throw it away, which we appreciate. But that some places were considering it if they didn't have an option. And so Nick was able to talk with, I guess Myers uses Keep It Green Compost. It kind of subcontracts to them. And they decided to step up their game and increase their business by servicing quite a few of these businesses that were left without a hauler. Clouds Path Farm, which is in Sheffield, and they pick up all the compost from our district facility here. They're also going to increase and add some customers. And so that'll ensure at least that Eric Paris is also able to get material to keep his composting business going. So I wanted to thank Nick for kind of leading the charge on that. He was pretty aggressive in reaching out and finding a solution to this problem pretty quick. And we'll be putting together an order for more compost toters. Keep It Green is actually going to order 100, and we're ordering some and doing a combined order so we can hopefully get a price break and save on shipping as well. So we'll be ordering about 170 toters total, and Keep It Green is going to get about 100 of those. Nick, did you want to add anything about that situation?
Yeah, I mean, DEC was great. Everybody kind of just stepped up and helped out, and Eric was very much on board. I got him involved with a conversation with Travis at Keep It Green. So Travis is dumping a majority of his volume there, so he can Eric can still do his job, and he had a lot of financial hard to say exactly what, but he had basically put up a lot of money and was really hoping that Black Dirt was going to keep it up. So when that stopped, he was in a bind. So we figured out a way to keep him going along with everybody else. So it worked out. Everybody's happy. I think we're up to about 200 totes a week right now, between everything that we've gotten done. And that's not including what Cloud Path. I think they're going to increase maybe 20 or 30 or so. So, but yeah, I think we've gotten pretty much 100% of what Tom was doing is covered. It's probably like 99.5, but I might be missing one small one here or there, but I think we got everybody covered. So it was a team effort, and I appreciate everybody that worked on it. So.
All right. Michelle and I had a meeting with Josh Kelly, the solid waste program manager with DEC, just to go over our approved SWIP and discuss our facility a little bit. He hadn't been there in a while, and so it was good to meet him and see what the expectations were. As far as the facility, we had one of the windows on our baler broke, a plexiglass window that has a sensor that looks through it and sees the height of the material. That broke. It's probably the original, I would think. And we replaced it with hardware store plexiglass and realized that was quite a bit thinner. So we're going to be either we have to reach out to the manufacturer and get a window that's already cut, or we will source a thicker piece. It's a pretty violent atmosphere that thing works in, with all the materials pouring down right through it. And our baler, from what I've been told, was not meant to run some of the material that we do put through it. So that'll be a thing that we need to get the right part in there, I think. Had a preventative maintenance done on a leased rider truck. We own one truck, which is a 2021 Mack, but we do lease two rider trucks. One of them is a 2022, and one of them is a 26, I believe. Our 21, thankfully, passed inspection, but it did have a loose shock. They just needed to tighten up the nut on that, and we were fine. We passed. Forklift died, and technician came and looked at it. Because it's operated in extremely cold weather, it was sensor was sending a signal. I think it was a lean or rich.
Yeah, rich.
It was running rich. So I think it's worth mentioning, our equipment operates, whether it's 90 degrees out and humid or it's 20 below. We have an unheated warehouse, and it's pretty harsh on equipment. So and then our baler as well. When you're thinking of how many gallons of hydraulic oil that holds, and what that oil is like at 10 below zero, it's not great, but it's what we have.
Chris?
And yep.
Could we use a hydraulic fluid that's made for cold temperatures, much like they make hydraulic fluid for plows that operate in cold temperatures?
We could speak to the company that does the maintenance about that. It might be an option. Yeah.
It's probably specified the amount of thicker or thinner oil.
Yeah.
It's just a lot of work to pull all that out.
It is.
Over.
Yeah. Had the front window break on our skid steer. One of the employees was loading scrap refrigerators into a container and had a piece of metal fly back, and it shattered the window. So that's been ordered from Kubota. Should be here at the end of the week. Couple items I forgot to put on the list here. I provided a tour to Linden Institute students. they are part of an art class, and they are making pieces of art from recycled items. So they came and filled some bags with a variety of the materials we deal with. And yeah, I'd already mentioned we had put together an order for 170 compost totes. And just for your curiosity's sake, those totes are about $70 each when you include the shipping to get them here. And they last, I'd say, probably 3 to 5 years with heavy use. A lot of our totes, those totes, they don't just sit in one spot. They're going on and off of box trucks, weekly. And especially in cold weather, that's pretty rough on a plastic item. They are extremely durable, though, for what they go through. And I think that's all I had for the updates. Nick was going to give an update on recent developments at the St. Johnsbury transfer station.
Yeah, do you want to, well, yeah, they reached out to you first. You want to just go tell them what they told you first? And
so we had 2 haulers come to the office and tell us that the transfer station in St. Johnsbury, as of the first of the year, started collecting the district surcharge, which they had never done before. We did not receive any warning from Casella that they were going to start doing that. The haulers had never received any warning. And so they were surprised when they went across the scales and then went to go pay, and their price per ton, not only had it gone up $5 per ton, anyway, there was an additional $29.50 per ton tacked onto their bill. In the past, they had always reported their tonnage monthly to the district and written us a check, so we were able to get those funds directly from the haulers. And so, Nick was familiar with folks in Casella and personnel there at the St. J transfer station, so he reached out to them, and I guess he could tell you the narrative from there.
yeah, so basically it stemmed from Central Vermont Solid Waste District is pushing to basically have Casella collect all the surcharge revenue and then disperse it back to the districts for what they collect. They do this down there for a few. Casella does it for a few of the smaller haulers. What they didn't realize, though, is then they're going to have to, provide every district that they're doing this for, basically for every business. So say it's, let me use one for example down there. They have Brian Perry and Sons, BP and Sons. They do a little bit on our side, but they do a lot in Central Vermont. So they take all of their waste and they would have to audit that and then send that to us with a check. Obviously, that could get very laborsome if you're doing that for every hauler. The good part about it is that they're going to start anybody that comes in the gate, whether or not you have a hauler permit or not, that's just paying gate rate, that doesn't have their own regular day-to-day operation, is going to get charged that. So if you go from Danville and you go to St. J and you say, they're going to ask you, hey, where's it from? And they are going to try to enforce everything, and you're going to say Danville, then they're going to charge you that $29 down there still at the St. J transfer. It's going to work in our favor here in our district because we are going to see a little bit more revenue from that, because there was no way for them to know, nobody went down there and said where they were from. So now they're asking everybody. So if you go down there and you dump a pickup load, you go across the scales, anybody that goes across the scales at St. J transfer, other than the 5 haulers that go down, registered haulers that are down there, everybody's going to get charged that district fee if you're coming from a district town. So we should see a little bit of revenue from it, which is going to be good. But majority of the haulers, Chris can tell you too, that they were like, yeah, no, we pay that ourselves. They track it themselves. And it's also our way of lobbying. You know, like we can take, when we had to take hookers to court before for money that they owed us. You know, that's basically the district's job, not Casella's. So after having a couple hour-long conversations with them, they agreed that the larger haulers are going to get left alone. They're going to reimburse them for whatever extra they paid from January 1 to January 12th. They've contacted all of those people as well. And then they sent an email that I forwarded to Michelle and Chris. So going forward, everything should be good. And then maybe, like I said, we'll see some extra revenue from it, from Casella going forward. And that was it pretty much.
All right, is there any other business? Steve?
Is there an update on searching for a new outreach coordinator?
We had one former outreach coordinator reach out. And I think one other person. So I'm going to speak with them first before we advertise it. And that'll be this month.
And that's still for part-time?
Yep.
Yep.
And how about is there an update on the punch clock?
No, there's no update.
Is there any other business?
Nick, just one question.
Go
On
ahead, Jack.
Huntsman, you said something about a bunch of plastic pails down at
Maple
St.
Grove.
John's
Maple
there.
Grove.
Yeah,
Yeah.
are those still available?
Probably. They're still in a dumpster down there now, Jack. But yeah, they're. I mean, obviously, somebody could probably pull them out of there. Hopefully, in the next couple weeks, we're gonna have a enclosed box down there for them, so they'll be stacked in there a little bit nicer, and then we'll be able to either bring them to the waste district or bring them somewhere where they can get divvied out and reused. We haven't really talked about it too much yet because it hasn't gotten there. But currently, we're still throwing them away.
If I can, I'd like to get about 25 of them.
Okay. I'll put a call in, Jack. Make sure we save some.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. I just thought
Teresa said
Teresa.
she wants 25. Yeah.
If anybody wants any, if any towns need any, if you could email Michelle maybe, and then get me a list, that would be great.
How many are available? We're talking hundreds.
It's probably going to be, yeah. It's they get rid of them weekly, so I would assume it's probably going to be quite a bit. Most of them are clean. They're all clean. Some of them have a little bit of an odor because they had like onion powder in them or something. But other than that, though, they're clean.
Well, I don't care about that because I plant my tomatoes and everything else in them.
Perfect.
Size containers you're talking about?
5-gallon buckets, Ken. Any other business? Well, everybody knows it's the end of the meeting, so I would take a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Thank you. Is there a second? Awesome. Any discussion? Never is. All those in favor of tonight's adjournment signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Nay. Ayes have it. Thank you all. Appreciate it. Have a great night.
Have a
See you
good
next
night.
month.
Thank
Good
you.
night. Night all.
Thank you.
Night all.
Night.
Night.
Don't matter when you get one.
Thanks for your service, Shannon.
Good night. Thank you for showing up.
Shannon.
I've been trying.
Goodbye, Shannon. Thank you, Shannon. Bye, Shannon.
Bye, Shannon.
Yeah. That's ever.
I'd like to continue joining them as well.
Well, you get an idea of what goes on behind the scenes.